Stop everything right now and listen with an attentive heart as these words pierce through the noise of the day. At this very moment, countless souls are turning away from the light, and this is not said to provoke fear, but to awaken what may be dormant within you. If your mind is tired or scattered today, take a deep breath and allow your soul to open, because your presence here is not a coincidence. There is a force capable of stopping this silent loss, a simple and powerful force that most Catholics keep at home without ever having been taught how to wield it properly. It is not superstition or a mechanical gesture. It is a spiritual weapon entrusted by heaven to defend our own, sustain those we love, and keep our faith firm when the world trembles amidst the noise. The Virgin Mary has just brought to light a secret that transforms everything you thought you understood about the Rosary. If you have ever felt that prayer seemed empty, repetitive, if your mind wandered while your lips continued, stay. Today you will hear words that reorganize your gaze, rekindle your zeal, and reignite the flame of hope. In our hearts, we did not come here for distraction. We came to plead for mercy. We did not come to debate. We came to adore. And at this beginning, let us make a simple and true request. Holy Mother, awaken our ears, expand our hearts, and lead us from routine to your presence. If you can, hold your rosary and keep it close. It will be a defense. It will be an anchor. It will be a prayer that pierces the darkness. In the next few moments, we will enter calmly and determinately into the center of heaven's request. Listen without fear and with humility. This is an urgent call from eternity, a supreme sign from on high, an appeal that does not admit indifference. It is not an exaggeration. It is the heart of heaven knocking at the door now. Here we decide whether we remain asleep or awaken to grace. Whoever listens with docility receives direction. Whoever resists remains with a void that nothing earthly can fill. The Blessed Virgin Mary, Queen of heaven and earth, refuge in the storm, living ark, gate of heaven, entrusted a word for this confusing time. Her motherly voice does not oppress. It uplifts. It does not distract. She calls. She invites us to embrace the Rosary with renewed faith and to abandon the lukewarmness that hides behind habits without fire. It is not curiosity for novelty, but loving obedience to the mother who guides her children. There will be opposition. Many will disconnect prematurely, not for lack of understanding, but for fear of the price of love. Scripture has already revealed this. The disciple defines himself at the crossroads, and there the Church responds with Peter, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life." There is no alternative that satisfies the soul. Whoever remains learns to fight with weapons of light, so that no one walks lost. The path is presented not as a collection of points, but as a journey of transformation, from weary devotion to militant prayer, from silent beads to blades of spiritual fire, from repetition to living offering. If you have come this far, you have already broken the inertia. Cultivate inner silence. Hold the Rosary between your fingers. Let hope reassume the throne. We will advance with order and humility, perseverance of the heart, and a concrete response that opens space for will be necessary. Grace is at work. Remain steadfast. The path narrows and the light increases. Stay not out of pressure, but out of love. It is essential to remain until the very last moment. Whoever leaves beforehand misses the prepared blessing. Distraction is the enemy's strategy. He whispers of weariness and offers excuses. You choose to fix your heart on God and stay until the end with simple obedience and inner strength. Now I ask for a small and effective gesture. Tap like at this moment and allow this message to cross the digital desert, not out of vanity, but out of charity. This act opens a path for the light to reach a lonely mother, a lost young person, a weary father, a soul on the verge of being lost. And my beloved children, listen to me with open hearts and silent souls, because what I tell you does not spring from fear, but from a mother's care. The Rosary you hold in your hands is not a common object, nor a simple external symbol. It is a path of protection, of surrender, and of profound trust in God. Many carry it, few understand its true power. Therefore, I call your attention to the fact that you should not use it merely out of habit, but with awareness and living faith. Understand, my children, the Rosary is a spiritual shield. Where it is honored with sincere faith, my mantle extends. Even if your home is surrounded by storms, confusion, struggles, or pain, it remains standing when placed under the protection of heaven. I speak not only of walls, but of the peace that dwells within your homes, the unity of your families, the protection over your children. But listen well, without true faith, everything becomes empty. It is not enough to repeat gestures or follow instructions with a distracted heart. Faith is the key that opens the door to protection. Without it, nothing bears fruit. With it, even the simplest things become powerful ones. When you place holy water in the four corners of your home, do so with respect and intention, asking that every presence contrary to the light be driven away, not as a mechanical ritual but as an act of surrender. When you place the rosary behind the front door, next to my image, remember that this door represents everything that enters and everything that leaves. Thoughts, words, people, and decisions. Where my name is remembered with love, darkness does not dwell. Do not make this a reason for pride or superstition. Do it out of trust, not out of fear, but out of love. I cover with my mantle those who trust, who persevere, and who do not stray from the path of Christ, even when the world becomes noisy and confusing. Remain steadfast, my children. Take care of your spiritual life with simplicity and truth. Heaven never abandons a home where there is sincere faith, humility, and a desire to remain in the light. Many times I speak to you, and few truly listen, not for lack of words, but because their hearts are restless, distracted, wounded by the weight of the world. Today I call you again to understand what you hold in your hands and what so many treat lightly. The Rosary, a sign of love, trust, and abiding in God. Understand, my children, that the Rosary does not act by itself. It is not magic, it is not an amulet, it is not an empty promise. It becomes protection when it is sustained by a living faith, by a heart that bows before God and recognizes that without Him it can do nothing. Many hang the Rosary on doors, walls, and cars, but leave their souls unprotected because they have forgotten to truly trust. Therefore, I tell you, before any outward gesture, it is necessary to align the inner self. When chaos arises, when the news frightens you, when wars, diseases, and disunity enter your homes through the door of worry and fear, it is then that the Rosary becomes an anchor. It reminds you that you are not alone, that heaven has not abandoned earth, that God continues to act even when your eyes do not see. My mantle, my children, is not fabric that covers walls, but a presence that envelopes homes where there is humility. A protected home is not one that never faces difficulties, but one that does not lose faith when they arrive. There are simple, small, silent houses that are true spiritual fortresses, while others, full of sacred objects, remain empty of God because conversion is lacking. When you place holy water in the four corners of your home, remember that you must also ask that your thoughts, your words, and your attitudes be purified. It is no use protecting the floor if the heart remains hardened. It is no use closing the door of the house if the soul remains open to anger, pride, envy, and despair. The Rosary behind the door, next to my image, is a sign of surrender, not an automatic shield. It reminds all who enter that that house belongs to God. It also reminds those who live there that every decision must first pass through faith. Where the Rosary is honored with respect, the desire to change one's life, to forgive, to start again is born. Listen to me carefully, my children. The greatest danger of your time is not only the storms of the world, but the cooling of faith. Many believe only when everything is going well. Few remain when the sky seems closed. But it is in these moments that true faith is strengthened, and it is upon these that my mantle rests most firmly. I do not ask for perfection, I ask for constancy. I do not ask that you never fall, but that you always rise. The Rosary teaches perseverance, to walk step by step, even when the path seems long. It educates you in patience, silence, and trust. Take care of your homes, my children, not only with outward gestures, but with love, dialogue, and forgiveness. A protected home is one where God is remembered in small things, where faith is not just a word, but a daily choice. When this happens, even if the world around collapses, there remains the peace that does not come from earth, but from heaven. Remain steadfast. Do not despise what has been given to you as grace. Heaven observes, heaven cares, heaven answers. And I, as a mother, continue to intercede for every child who does not lose hope, even amidst the storms. My beloved children, in the face of the growing evil in the world, I call upon you not to harden your hearts nor allow fear to govern your souls. Times have become confusing. People are distancing themselves from one another. Violence begins in thought and spreads through actions. Many no longer know how to distinguish light from darkness because they have allowed their faith to weaken. Therefore, I tell you with a mother's voice, be strong, but not with the strength of the world, but with the strength that comes from trust in God. Do not allow, my children, evil to transform you into cold, distrustful, or hateful people. Evil grows when it finds empty hearts, when it finds weary souls that have ceased to watch. Strengthen your faith every day, even when it seems difficult, even when you feel no consolation. True faith does not depend on feelings, but on decision. Pray, my children, not as one who fulfills an obligation, but as one who draws near to God to find direction. Prayer sustains you when the world tries to bring you down. It clarifies your thoughts, calms your fears, and strengthens your hope. A heart that prays is not easily lost, even when surrounded by lies and injustices. The world teaches haste, pride, and indifference. I teach you perseverance, humility, and trust. While many shout, learn to silence your hearts. While many attack, learn to watch your words. True strength lies not in reacting to everything, but in remaining steadfast in good, even when provoked by evil. Take care of your spiritual life as you would something precious. Do not leave it for later, do not treat it as something secondary. It is in it that the course of your choices, the peace of your homes, and the protection of your families are decided. A child who prays and trusts does not walk alone, even when everything around seems dark. My children, do not be frightened by the noise of the world. He passes away. Faith remains. Storms come and go, but he who builds his life upon God is not destroyed. Strengthen yourselves from within, for that is where the battle takes place. It is in the heart that good conquers evil. Remain vigilant, persevering, and united to God. I walk with you, I intercede for you, and I cover you with my mantle when choose faith instead of despair. Be strong, my children. Pray, trust, and do not allow the wickedness of the world to extinguish the light that God has placed within you. The wickedness of the world no longer hides. It manifests itself in words, in attitudes, in wrong choices, and in the coldness of hearts. Many have lost their fear of God. Many have stopped listening to their own conscience, and therefore suffering spreads like a shadow. In the face of this, I call upon you. Do not weaken, do not be discouraged, do not let yourselves be contaminated. My children, evil grows when it finds fragile ground. It feeds on lack of faith, lack of prayer, lack of vigilance. Therefore, I tell you with firmness and love, strengthen your faith every day, not only when pain arrives, but also when everything seems calm. Faith needs to be cared for like a small flame that, if not protected, is extinguished by any wind. Pray, my children, because prayer is the breath of the soul. A soul that does not pray tires more quickly, becomes confused more easily, and vulnerable to the lies of the world. When you pray, even in silence, heaven moves. Even if you don't see immediate answers, something profound happens within you. Prayer molds you, strengthens you, and teaches you to discern what comes from God and what does not. Do not wait for better times to pray. Pray now, amidst difficulties, amidst family struggles, amidst financial worries, amidst the hidden pains you carry. It is in these moments that prayer becomes most necessary. The enemy tries to convince you that praying is pointless, that it is useless, that God is distant. Do not believe these lies. God is closer than you imagine, especially to those who suffer. My children, be strong within. The world values the strength that humiliates, that dominates, that wounds. God calls you to a greater strength, the strength to remain in good when everything invites evil, the strength to forgive when pride wants to win, the strength to be silent when anger wants to speak. This strength is born from prayer and constant faith. Watch your thoughts, because that is where the battle begins. Evil enters subtly, with ideas of discouragement, revolt, and hopelessness. Do not allow these thoughts to take root. When they arise, lift your hearts to God. Call upon my name. Ask for light. A thought surrendered to God loses its destructive power. Take care of your homes, my children. The home is the first spiritual battlefield. Where there is no prayer, pointless arguments arise, divisions, accumulated resentments. Where there is prayer, even with difficulties, a peace is born that the world does not understand. Do not wait for everyone around you to pray before you begin. Begin yourselves. One faithful soul sustains many others. Do not conform to evil as if it were normal. Do not accept injustice as if it were inevitable. Be light, even a small one. A small flame is enough to dispel the darkness. Every gesture of faith, every silent prayer, every choice for good has a value that heaven knows. I tell you, my children, these are difficult times, but they are not times without hope. God remains in control, even when the world seems lost. Those who remain firm in faith will be sustained, strengthened, and guided. I do not promise the absence of pain, but I promise constant presence. I do not promise easy paths, but I promise that you will not walk alone. Remain united to God. Pray without ceasing. Strengthen your faith day after day. Do not let yourselves be overcome by spiritual weariness. I, as a mother, intercede for every child who struggles to remain faithful, even amidst the wickedness of the world. My beloved children, listen attentively and keep this in your hearts. There is a call from the Lord in every life, and it is not born of chance, nor of fear, nor of confusion. God's call is silent, firm, and full of love. Many feel it, but few are willing to understand. That is why I speak to you as a mother, so that you do not ignore the voice that leads you to the right path. Understand, my children, that when God calls you, He does not do so to lose you, but to strengthen you. He does not take away anything essential from you. On the contrary, He frees you from that which weakens you. Many times you resist because you are afraid to change, afraid to leave behind habits, people, or paths that no longer help you grow. But know this, God never calls anyone to darkness. He always calls to the light. The Lord blesses you when you accept His call with humility. This blessing is not only material, it is inner. She straightens your steps, clarifies your decisions, and strengthens your spirit. Even when the path seems difficult, it is on that path that He molds you, prepares you, and makes you stronger than you imagine yourself to be. Do not confuse, my children, strength with hardness. The true strength that comes from God is that which sustains without hardening, which corrects without hurting, which remains faithful even in silence. When you follow the Lord's direction, you learn to face struggles without losing peace, to overcome trials without losing faith. Many ask for grand signs, but God speaks in small things. In a restlessness in the heart, in a word that touches the soul, in a deep desire to change your life. Do not despise these signs. They are the gentle way in which the Lord leads you in the right direction. When you accept God's call, even with limitations and fears, something new begins to be born within you. Faith is strengthened, hope is renewed, and the heart finds meaning. It does not mean the absence of pain, but it means purpose. A heart that lives with purpose is not easily lost. Trust, my children. God knows your weaknesses, but He also knows the strength He Himself has placed within you. He calls you not because you are perfect, but because you are His. And where the Lord leads, He sustains. Allow Him to guide your steps. Do not walk alone. Do not decide only with human reason. Surrender your lives into God's hands, and you will see how He will place you in the right direction, making you firmer, more aware, and stronger inside. My beloved children, draw near to the silence of your hearts, for it is there that the Lord speaks. Many seek God's voice in the noise of the world, in quick answers, in grandiose signs. But the Lord's call is profound, constant, and patient. He calls you every day, not to confuse you, but to guide you. And I, as a mother, come to remind you that this calling is a sign of love and care, not of burden or condemnation. Understand, my children, that the Lord's calling does not only happen in happy times, but also in trials. Often it is in pain that He awakens you. It is in your fall that He teaches you to rise. It is in your loss that He shows you what truly remains. Do not interpret difficulties as abandonment, but as part of the path that strengthens and matures you in faith. When God calls you, He desires to align your life with the truth. He blesses you by placing you on the right path, even if that path, at first, seems narrow or uncertain. God's path is not always the easiest, but it is always the safest for the soul. He sees what you do not see, knows the hidden dangers, and anticipates what you do not yet understand. My children, be attentive. The Lord's call demands a response. It is not enough to listen. It is necessary to choose. To choose to trust when everything seems confusing. To choose to persevere when weariness arrives. To choose to do good when the world teaches the opposite. Each choice made in faith makes you stronger inside, even if outwardly you still seem fragile. The Lord does not call you because you are strong. He calls you to make you strong. He doesn't call you because you are already ready. He calls you to prepare you. Many times you feel incapable, unworthy, or small, but God works precisely with what the world despises. It is in humility that grace acts with the most freedom. When you accept the Lord's direction, your steps begin to find meaning. What once seemed aimless begins to have purpose. Even past mistakes can be transformed into learning experiences when surrendered to God with sincere repentance. Nothing is lost when placed in the Lord's hands. My children, do not fear changing course when God calls you. Do not cling to paths that no longer produce life. Excessive attachment to what is behind prevents you from seeing the blessings that lie ahead. Trust. God does not close one door without preparing another, and He does not ask something of you without first giving you the grace necessary to fulfill it. Strengthen your faith daily, for it is what keeps you firm on the right path. A fragile faith falters before the first obstacle. A faith cultivated in prayer remains even in the desert. Pray, listen, reflect. Prayer helps you discern when it is God who speaks and when it is only your fears. The Lord's call also leads you to responsibility. He invites you to grow, to abandon attitudes that distance you from the light, to heal old wounds and to rebuild what has been broken. This requires courage, but a courage sustained by grace. Do not walk alone. Entrust your decisions to God, and He will straighten your steps. I tell you, my children, when you accept the Lord's call, even without understanding everything, a new strength is born within you, a strength that does not come from the world, that does not depend on circumstances, that does not break easily. It is the strength that keeps you standing when everything seems to collapse. Remain attentive, docile, and confident. The Lord continues to call, to bless, and to guide. And I, as a mother, continue to intercede for every child who decides to listen, trust, and walk in the right direction. Do not ignore the call. Do not delay the response. God calls you today to make you stronger, more aware, and firmer in faith. And where He guides, there is life, hope, and true peace. Pray to Saint Michael the Archangel, faithful defender, guardian of homes and souls who wish to remain in the light. Invoke his protection not out of fear, but out of trust, because he was placed by God to protect those who seek good and wish to live in truth. Where Saint Michael is called upon with faith, evil loses strength and darkness finds no space. Do not allow, my children, evil to enter your home. She enters not only through open doors, but also through harsh words, harbored resentments, lack of prayer, and spiritual indifference. Watch over your thoughts, your attitudes, and what you allow to remain in your homes. A home without spiritual vigilance becomes fragile, but a home that prays becomes a fortress. I, your mother, walk with you. I protect you, intercede for you, and cover with my mantle those who trust in me. Do not think that you are alone or abandoned. Even when the world seems to crumble, my care remains. Where a child turns to God with sincerity, there I am present, sustaining, comforting, and guarding. My children, the world walks down paths of destruction because many have turned away from the light. Love has been replaced by selfishness, truth by lies, faith by pride. That is why you see so many divisions, so much pain, so many wounded families. But do not allow this scenario to extinguish the hope that God has placed in you. Darkness may be great, but it will never be greater than the light. Pray, my children. Pray with perseverance. Pray even when you are tired, even when it seems that nothing changes. Prayer sustains what the eyes cannot see. It closes doors to evil, strengthens faith, brings discernment and peace. A heart that prays is not easily lost, even in difficult times. Place your home under the protection of heaven. Call upon Saint Michael, trust in God and remain steadfast. Do not let fear govern your decisions. Faith was given to you to sustain you, not to be abandoned in times of trial. The more the world distances itself from God, the more you are called to remain. I tell you as a mother, take care of your spiritual life with zeal. Do not neglect that which protects you. A home that prays remains standing, even surrounded by storms. A family that trusts is not destroyed, even when going through struggles. Remain steadfast, my children. Invoke the protection of heaven. Strengthen your faith, and do not allow evil to find a place in your hearts. I am with you. I protect you and guide you whenever you choose the light in the midst of darkness. It enters slowly, when prayer is set aside, when forgiveness is postponed, when love grows cold. A home without prayer becomes vulnerable, but a home that trusts in God becomes a refuge, even amidst the storms of the world. Pray together whenever you can, and when it is not possible, let at least one faithful heart sustain the whole house. I, your mother, am with you. I have not abandoned you, and I will never abandon you. I cover you with my mantle when you invoke the protection of heaven with sincere faith. Many feel alone, lost, and frightened by what they see around them. But I tell you, do not walk guided by fear. Fear paralyzes, faith strengthens. Where faith dwells, evil does not take root. My children, the world suffers because it has turned away from God. Love has been forgotten, truth has been distorted, and many no longer recognize the value of spiritual life. That is why you see so much division, so much pain, and so much confusion. But do not let this reality harden your hearts. On the contrary, be even more steadfast in faith, more attentive to prayer, and more committed to good. Pray to Saint Michael, for he helps you to remain standing when the struggle is invisible. There are battles that are not won with human words, but with faith, silence, and perseverance. There are battles that take place within the soul, and it is there that prayer becomes both sword and shield. Do not despise this protection that heaven offers you.